Howdy, y'all. Let's do this right. Howdy, Everett. How are you today, sir? Oh, we're about to hang out with Canadians. Canada strong, brother. Canada strong. Whereas I was laughing today and I heard something, or I saw something. It was not that. What it was how's it going, eh? Howdy from Villarrica. What's up, Jose? ¿Cómo estás, amigo? Patrick Grant, 2112. I gotta say, you're probably a Rush fan, but that's all right. Let's not rush things, though. How are y'all today? Greetings, my puffers from another mother. Okay. If you've ever seen Neil Peart really going off when he's on a real-time run on it, man, you know. Everett, I'm thinking Rush is like the only Canadian band. There's some Canadian singers, but truly Canadian bands. Yeah, there's Rush, and then there's, I don't know, there might be somebody else. OJK in the Savinelli Alligator Poker. Very nice. Really? The Guess Who is also from Canada? I never really would have guessed that the Guess Who was from Canada. I am not enjoying OJK in a Savinelli Alligator. I will be having in my own handmade pipe. That's right, the VRX21. I'm enjoying some Sutliff Revelation, though I packed it a little bit too tight and it's having a bit of a draw issue right now. April Wine, Triumph, Helix, Tragical, Y-Hip, the Stampeders. I'm waiting for you to name a band I've actually heard of. Burley Nut Bob, howdy, sir. Thank you, Patrick. For something that I worked really, really hard on and screwed up a lot of stuff. And then I came across this gigantic crater that was right there. And then right over here, I ended up with the Grand Canyon of sand pits. Yeah, but I love this pipe. It's awesome. It reminds me every day, every time I smoke it, that I'm not perfect and I don't need to try to be. Good enough is plenty good enough. And if I can enjoy this pipe as much as I do, we can all enjoy our own little flaws and our own little issues. Nickelback, yeah. For 45 cents, you can have 50 Cent and Nickelback at a concert. I think I remember Nickelback. I think I remember not liking them. But that's okay. Howdy, Skip. I'm sure that Steph is following closely behind. Honeymoon suite. Yeah, there's a lot of things that go on in the honeymoon suite. I'm going to say that most of them are fucked up. A little bit of coffee in there. So good. Howdy, Todd. What is happening, folks? Got 9 in. 6 or 7 of y'all are... Howdy, Mike. Not one Mike from Canada, but the other Mike from Canada. And some of our friends from out there across the pond, one way or the other, are actually starting on the weekend now, which is awesome, because this gets to technically be a weekend show for them. Everett, you be careful who you're calling lover boy. That gets you hurt down here. I've heard of lover boy. Ohio Piper Jeff, how's it going, sir? 10 in. Hey, 10 in. We'll do a bowl call as soon as y'all get done saying hello to everybody. We just barely started. We're not even 10 minutes in. This is awesome. Skip, I'm hearing stories that you're going to be leaving. You're going to be leaving your better half all by herself in El Paso. Where are you headed, brother? Please make sure that we all know so that we can pray for you in your travels.
Hey, how are you?
Doing well. How about yourselves?
Just great, thanks.
Great. Escaped from the office finally today.
Ah, that's always a good thing. One of my neighbors that actually works at NASA, and one of his good friends from the Army, who was here across the holidays, the Christmas holidays, I traded, or just gave him some tobacco to smoke while he was here, because it was pretty cool. The Aleutian Islands. Woo! Well, if you're going to be that close to Russia, do not defect. I will hunt you down and drag you back to Texas if you do. Wait, did I miss some? Did I miss Miss Cat? Oh, Miss Kathy, the godmother. Oh, we are not worthy. Howdy, Miss Kathy. How is Steve? Yes, we are concerned. We do remember. Okay, not a problem, not a problem. Finding out last night during the Nashville Mafia that he fell out of a tree because he was doing something us younger guys should have been doing, and technically doing something that no guys should have been doing. Up on a ladder, trimming a tree, and things went sideways. That's scary because, well, the older you get, the slower you heal. And so if some of y'all have some good prayers in there for Steve, y'all let him fly his direction, because we want to keep Steve around a little bit. Well, I know he's a tough, I'm not going to say that last word, but he's a tough old man, and he grew up when you had to be tough or you just got stomped into the ground. And for that, I'm kind of happy because, well, that means he bounced. He got up, he dusted himself off, and he says, damn, I wish I hadn't have done that. Hobbiton Piper, howdy and hello. By the way, people who haven't been following Hobbiton Piper need to probably think about doing that. It's a decent show, and he'll be passing me up in subs pretty soon. He's got pretty much the YTPC pulling for him. It's going to happen. I just hope he remembers me when he gets to his 1,000 subs. So we're not even through saying hello to everybody yet. Here it is, almost 15 minutes in. When we get done, let's do a bowl call. My bowl call will be, oh, that's right. I can show you the 10, but it's not going to matter. Sutliff Revelation. Supposedly a match of what Albert Einstein smoked. No, I don't think that it's making me any smarter, but I'm pretty much a smart ass, so hey, why not? In the VR, let me flip that over. That is the VRX21, sometimes called the Little Hammer, and sometimes called the Teacup. Jose, don't worry about that. That was a random, completely random. I didn't advertise it. Didn't even know it was going to happen until I just decided, hey, you know what? Hey, nobody's on. Let me go. Let me do it. Thank you, Hobbiton. I appreciate that. This is the first one I ever chiseled out by myself. No, I'm still not a Chiefs fan, and I can spell the word you. E-W-E. One Q and a cob, drinking some root beer. Nice, Mr. Bob. I do like some root beer. Billy Budd in an imported briar. That's always nice. Yes, sir. First one I ever carved myself. And I made so many mistakes, it's ridiculous. Nope, Revelations made sure that I stayed a Raiders fan. being that there is only one team in the AFC that has more wins than the Raiders, and that would be the Patriots, and I hate the Patriots, I might as well stay with the winningest team that actually has decency on their side instead of cheating. I can say that with a straight face. Jose, I was just literally throwing out stuff to throw out stuff at a point in time, because I was starting to go really kind of batshit crazy myself, and I figured that if I could keep everybody else from going crazy, maybe, just maybe, we could get through this and still be okay. Crooner in a Cobb and Jim Beam. Nice setup, Skip. I'm a little jealous of the Jim Beam. Not too much, but a little bit. Elizabethan in a J.M. Calabash. That would be a J. Mouton Calabash. Very nice, sir. Highly respectable pipe there. Though I'm not a real huge Calabash fan, I do like the way they look. It's not for me. Huva Ilta Boris. How are the boys in blue making out today, or are they making out at all? Oh, got a cherry cigar going. Kathy is helping Steve get rid of those sticks that he can't give away. I understand completely. I am not going to get a blue alligator or a green alligator. I will keep my pipes to yellow and black, which turn red and gold if I look at it. Well, good for you, Kathy. Don't take any of that crap from him. You didn't get to be the godmother by following the rules. You did it by forging your own path. Good for you. By the way, some of my fellow pipe smokers have not been tuning into the Nashville Mafia, and I feel like I've been letting those guys down. It's a Wednesday night show, which means it was last night. It's hilarious. It's on either Volunteer Pipers channel or Night Pipers channel. They film it right out of Nashville. There was a bug behind me. It was bugging me. Hopefully it wasn't bugging you. It comes on directly after. Okay. If you watch Eddie Gray's show, The Pipe Nook, his live show, and then you watch the Popping the Tin series from Flat Cap Piper, immediately after that, if you start looking for Night Piper or Volunteer Piper, you're going to find that show. It's going to be on. Jump in. Patrick's there. Paul, yes, Paul the Wrench, he's there. Most of us are there. But if you haven't been tuning into their programming, if you're looking for something on a Wednesday, if you haven't been tuning in, you've been missing out. In fact, I recognize most of the names in this room as being on their show at some point in time. But I did see that there were some other people who say, hey, I just found this. Didn't know it was even here. And I'm like, how did I miss telling people about this? Steve, all right. Steve, no more trying to fly. You are not a squirrel. Leave the trees alone. Or get a younger man to do it for you. I don't need you with a broken hip or a messed up shoulder. We've already got enough guys named Mike with broken parts and smashed in stuff. And we want to really keep you in a good condition. My father, La Promesa. Yeah, I do kind of like those. Mike M. Howdy and hello. I don't seem to remember you from this show ever before, but welcome in. I would like to remind most people that I did put a disclaimer on the description that says this is not for people who are easily offended or under the age of 21. Past that, we're just here to hang out and have a good time. What's better than that? And if I could ever get around to chopping down my own oak trees, I'll probably have to call Steve and have his help. I'm not doing that to you, Steve. But I've got these two big, gigantic oak trees, and they are driving my nose nuts right now. It is that time of year. From March to the end of May, I can barely breathe in my own front yard. You should see my backyard. It's just as bad. So my father's, there's the La Bijou, the La Promesa, and the Judge. And those are the three that I would go for in the My Father lineup. The rest of them have a little bit of a funny taste that leaves me, well, it leaves me thinking dirt. And I pretty much don't want that flavor coming through in my cigars. For some people it's great. For me it's just not. Well, Steve, we'll go have a talk to that chunk of earth about giving you the harder end of the deal here. And maybe we can get it to grow some nice, thick, cushy grass. Maybe that will help. The Judge is easy to get here in the States. But yeah, the ones that come out of Cuba are they're Cuban, so they're exceptional. But I of the My Father lineup, I like La Bijou just slightly better than the La Promesa. My personal flavors. I'm not asking you to agree with me. Really, a meerschaum poker. That's an interesting thought there. Mostly because meerschaums get hot as all get out when you get them nice and smoky. I'm not sure I would want a meerschaum poker because of how hot it's going to get that close to my face, but Kathy, it is fine. There is no requirement that says that you have to be here. If it is more convenient for you to just turn that off and cook, please do so. Yes, ma'am. I am not the kind of person that's worried about how long you watch or even if y'all watch. I'm going to tell you the story, the actual story. I did a live, unplanned, just went live, had some stuff on my mind, needed to say some stuff, and one of the people who was on my live informed me that Garbage Man Piper Mel was about to start his GAW. And I said, oh my God, that's great. I booted everybody out and we all went over to Mel's channel and we watched him give away pipes and tobacco. If you've never seen any of the Garbage Man Piper giveaways, you've been missing out. Trust me on this. It's ridiculous. He just keeps more and more stuff coming and going. It's completely crazy. But I tried to help him out during his GAW. And he was like, hey man, thanks. I really appreciated it. And you know what? And then I was sitting there thinking, what if I try to do the show just in front of the show? We can call it the preview. It started off as the Voodoo preview. Well, I started doing a VRPR for Mike and for Chad. And both Mike and Chad said, hey, this is really working out. Because instead of everybody trickling in for 10 to 15 minutes, it's like suddenly there's 10 or 15 people there just as soon as I start the show. And, you know, we can get on with the business of saying hi and getting it done. And we can move into an actual chat, show, whatever. Not that saying hello is a bad thing. But in the space of an hour, I mean, just look at this show. The first 15 minutes, we said hello. That leaves 3/4 of the show to get something said, move along, and then get in some goodbyes. And also try to remind everybody, hey, these other shows are coming up. Let's go watch those. So I started doing tailgating because Mike says, hey, this is just like a tailgate. And I says, hey, let's just call it tailgating and be done with it. So now it's tailgating. And I like doing this. It's not because I feel that I've always got something super important to say. It's more like I enjoy having y'all gather with me and we can share our love of pipes and such. And then as the next show shows up, we can jump over there And we can really fill up that first 15 minutes quickly and get the howdies and hellos out of the way without having to eat up whatever presenter's time. Time is the only thing that you can spend that you can never get back. No matter how much you spend, you can't have more. And no, I'm not trying to rush people along, and I'm not trying to say that saying hello is a bad thing. Completely not what I'm doing. That's just where the idea for tailgating came from. And it seems like it works pretty good. And then, of course, every once in a while, it also happens that I need to fill in for people. But that's okay too. I can talk for 4 hours, as long as I've got something to drink and something to smoke. Or in the case of those 4 hours where I'm filling in for Chad, 2 or 3 things to smoke. Commissioning a hawkbill in Meerschaum. Oh, a paneled hawkbill in Meerschaum. So I think I've finally gotten this little baby finally broke in last night. I lit it up. And no, I probably shouldn't be smoking it today because I smoked it last night. But I wanted something that was going to last longer than just an hour. But I lit it up. And in the 2-hour show, that is the Nashville Mafia show, it didn't go out. It stayed lit. That's awesome. Oh, by the way, yes, that is a huge button, and I've got to work at getting that a little bit tighter to the shape that I want. Every once in a while, I take a little bit of sandpaper and just trickle it down, but then I don't want to completely remove it. I still want it to be for me. But yeah, it's where I test out everything that I'm going to do on real pipes so I can find out, is this going to work or not? Does anybody have anything they need me to talk on, or any questions that they've got, especially on cigars? Now look, we all know with Mike coming on, I know you're saving your pipe questions, and probably better that you do. He knows more about pipes than, he's forgotten more about pipes than I'll ever know. But I actually sold cigars. I was damn good at it too. It was only me and 2 other guys that worked a shop, because that's all they would give us, was us 3. And we turned it from being a losing proposition into one of the best shops in the Houston area. instead of a waste of money and space, we turned it into the place to be. Damn, that is a long time to be out of work, Everett. Are you okay, brother? Howdy, Scott. Glad to have you on board today. Burley Nut Bob. Hopefully dinner can be done and you can get in and enjoy some time with Mike. But you take care and have a great dinner. Everett, I'm not really sure that I have a favorite pipe shape. I've tried a lot of different pipe shapes. I think if I was to say what my favorite type of pipe is, it's probably a cob. I've got several. I'm almost always smoking a cob. Oh yes. Oh, as Jose has reminded me. Oh yes. My favorite pipe would be a spiraling diamond shanked bamboo hawk build reverse calabash double bowled blowfish with meerschaum calabash inserts. Yes. I think I got all that right. Oh, that's right. That's right. With an all-natural briar bit. Now, I love my clays. But when I'm having that feeling that my nose is itching, or when I'm out here on a live chat, I don't bring the clays out. Because if you drop them, or if you sneeze and drop them, or you smack them into something because you're not really paying attention to it, you can break them. They are fragile. And for that, I hate clays. But what I love about clays, oh my God. You can finish one bolt, swab it with a pipe cleaner, load it up, still blazing hot, fire it up and smoke it again. And you can do that all day. You can take it out in the cold, you can take it into the heat, you can take it in the rain. It does not give a crap what else is going on in the world. A clay pipe, as long as the air chamber is clean, will smoke like a champion. Okay, Don Thomas, Presidente or Robusto Maduro, what's your opinion on them? The Don Tomas is... I'm not really a fan. I've tried them. I tried them so many times. I wish I was a fan because they're a decent price, and I mean, as far as just being a regular cigar, it's an okay stick. But if I'm going to stay with, well, the company that owns Cohiba and CAO and Macanudo, because all of those are also owned. Oh, Partagas is in there, and Hoyo de Monterrey, not Hoya, but Hoyo. They are different companies. They just sound a whole lot alike. So, God, I would go with Punch is also in that list. Punch cigars. So I smoke a lot of Punches because I do like a stronger cigar. So if you're looking for a stronger cigar, especially for you, Everett, I would think this would be a good thing. Punch cigars are going to give you a real good, strong nicotine buzz if you are looking for a decent cigar with a good kick to it. Not necessarily a nicotine hit, but more like just strength and satisfaction in the nicotine. And if you're really looking for something strong that way, you might want to check out the Punch Diablo. Fantastic with a little bit of bourbon, and not going to run you a whole crater of money. You're not going to pour money into a Punch the way, I mean, when you consider the price per pound of tobacco. I know it comes out to ounces, but still. The Punch Classic series would be real good for you, sir. I mean, but you do like a stronger normal smoke, so that would be something I would try to get you into. Just because I know enough about cigars and enough about what you smoke out of your pipes that I think that would work for you. LFD, yes. La Flor Dominicana. Great brand. Some of them, though, are garbage. And some of them are just really, really nice. I think the Andalusian Bull is absolutely fantastic. But so hard to find because it got made Cigar of the Year once and it became impossible to get. And I will tell you, I think it actually earned it. Oh yes, the Hoyo de Monterrey. Not the Hoya. Let's all remind ourselves. The Hoyo de Monterrey. Especially if you can get the ones that are made by AJ Fernandez. You'll have a nice peppery stick with a lot of good flavors, and it's not going to be just one note. It's going to actually go with that roller coaster effect. There's going to be highs and lows, but in general, it's just a really good straight cigar. Great flavor, lots of stuff. Okay, so Boris, the reason why there are the same brand names and in non-Cuban tobacco is because America consumes about 70% of the cigars on the planet every year. And these companies did not become name brand and say we are just going to roll stuff in Cuba and forget about selling 70% of all of that product to the United States. So we will come up with product lines that are made in other countries with leaf that is grown in other countries so that we can continue to make money on the Americans. And that is quite literally exactly why all of those brands have non-Cuban offerings. Right, the Double a Hero, yeah, the DL 700. It's hard for us to keep it right here in the Houston area. People love that stick, so it goes very fast. The Digger is very good. I'm just not really fond of the Chisel. The Chisel tip, I start smoking it, it plugs up. Nothing I can do about it. I might, if somebody was to hand me a Chisel, I would see about trading it to somebody else, mostly because I'm just going to ruin it. I'm not going to get a great cigar out of it, even though it's a great cigar. Yes, the Excaliburs are actually real nice. Excalibur is also owned by the same company there as which is General Cigar. In case you're wanting to know, General Cigar has CAO and Cohiba no, not General Cigar, General Tobacco. And got to tell you, a lot of these old names have been sold to big conglomerates that have put all their names together. And if you really want to know who or which of these groups are together, go into a local B&M that has 5,000-6,000 offerings on their wall, and you will see how they are grouped right there together. And that's for inventory purposes, just to make sure that, hey, look, if I'm looking for this particular company's inventory, all I've got to do is go to this one section and it's all right there. There are some independents, but for the most part, most of the big names are all owned by there's like 4 companies. Quite literally. Oh, and almost everybody uses Plasencia tobacco. You don't believe me? The only company that's completely not there's 2 companies that are not using Plasencia tobacco in their stuff. That is La Flor Dominicana and Padron. Yes, all of those other brands you can think of are using Plasencia tobacco somewhere. They own 80% of it on the planet. It's a pretty good chance you're getting their tobacco. And yes, they even own a lot of that stuff that's in Cuba. Actually, they are the same companies, because Monte Cristo is still Monte Cristo, and Cohiba is still Cohiba, and Partagas is still Partagas. They just have Partagas, the Cuban branch, Monte Cristo, the Cuban branch, but when all the money comes in, it all goes into the same basic bank account. They are the same company, it's just a smaller division that runs out of Cuba. And yes, I asked all of these questions when I was first working for that shop up on the north side of Houston, and that's because it looked like at the time just possibly the embargo might have been lifted, and Altadis, that owns half of the product in Cuba and the Cuban government owns the other half. Think about that for a second. Altadis was going to have the ability to mainline competitive priced Cubans into their stores, and everybody else that wanted to put Cubans in their stores was going to have to buy them from either the Cuban government or Altadis. Patrick, the Partagas Series D number 4 is a fantastic stick. It is one of my top 3. I'm not going to lie to you. The other 2 that I just am absolutely crazy about is the Monte Cristo number 2 and the Joyo de Monterrey Epicure number 2. Now, the Epicure number 2 I like because it is the least counterfeited Cuban on the market. Not saying you're never going to find a counterfeit one, but you're almost never going to find a counterfeit Joyo de Monterrey Epicure number 2. There's no money in it. They don't make enough money for it to be counterfeited. It's still a Cuban. It's still a great cigar. But you'll almost never find one that's counterfeit. And that's what I love about it. I don't have to look hard at it to sit there and go, hey, that's fake. I can look at the cap and say, hey, that's fake. I don't have to sit there and get out the microscope and start looking at it like I'm some sort of nutcase. I don't have to go crazy on trying to decide, is it real or is it fake? Pretty much, if you can read the label and it's got that triple wrap cap, Joyo de Monterrey Epicure number 2, it's good. You can check it 10 seconds from the time you see it to the time you actually hold it in your hands. If it takes you longer than 10 seconds to figure out that that an Epicure number 2 is legit, then you probably don't know enough about it. I'm sorry. I could probably teach a class on it, but it would take more time than I've got left. Now, the Partagas D number 4. I've seen a lot of fake ones. And quite often, everybody's trying to darken them. And when they're trying to darken them, they'll use like a mineral oil. If you look at the box that it came in, if the box looks like there's some sort of an oil on it at all, probably fake. That's one of the fastest ways I've seen. The whole problem with doing a whole cigar lessons is some of these things I'd actually have to be able to show you, hands-on show you, and I'm not sure that the camera is going to pick up what I'm going to be able to tell you. Steph, only vegetarian meals we allow in this chat is pipe tobacco and cigars. You know, I'm just playing with you, sister. I love you. Cheeseburger 79. Oh my God, I have not seen you in forever, brother. How have you been? By the way, Cheeseburger 79 is another of our brothers from down under. Now, the Monte Cristo number 2. You will need to look at the Monte Cristo number 2. And you need to look at the Monte Cristo number 2 very closely. Because it's counterfeited quite often. If you want to know why the Cohiba Bahique is so crazy with the label, and if you don't believe me, go find the Bahique label, and you're going to see certain things that are so crazy hard to duplicate. Let's just say that it's really hard to duplicate the label, but there's a lot of people that try, and then they'll sell them. And yeah, you got a Chokehiba, you didn't get a Cohiba, and you are going to choke on the prices. Oh, another good way to check to see if it's counterfeit. If you were looking at a box of cigars, because counterfeiters want to sell you a box of cigars, they want to sell you that Cuban priced cigar for some product that they picked up in Nicaragua or Dominican Republic or Cambodia or wherever they got it rolled from. If it has a plexiglass or glass clear lid, it is not Cuban. That is a restriction by the Cuban government. It will be in a solid wood box. There will be no paper bundle out of the box. It is either in the box as a wooden box or it is not Cuban. Now it can be bundled inside the box. But if they're trying to sell you something and it's not in the box and they're trying to tell you it's a full box, it's not Cuban. Now, one of the best ways that I can tell you to make sure, like, if you're in the United States and you're really, really wanting to get a Cuban and you're willing to pay the extra price, start looking at the places in Japan. You can get them in Germany, you can get them in Sweden, stuff like that. Yes, you can. But start looking for the ones in Japan. Partly because most Americans don't speak Japanese, so if the writing says tobacco from Cuba, but it says it in Japanese, customs doesn't read that damn thing correctly. They don't know what the hell it says. Part of the score is right there. The other part of the score is the laws in Japan. You are guilty until proven innocent, not innocent until proven guilty. So if somebody comes and says, this person is a counterfeiter, well, counterfeiting in Japan is a very bad crime. They will jack with that person something fierce. So you know what you almost will never find coming out of Japan? Counterfeits. It's not worth it. It's not worth it because going to jail until you can prove yourself innocent is ridiculously hard on your whole family. But you can try other countries too. Steph, yes, actually, I have been to Japan. A good friend of mine from when I was growing up, his mother owns a hotel in Hokkaido, and periodically, when, well, it's been a while, I haven't talked to her in a while, but if she calls and she says, hey, we're going to send you a plane ticket, can you come do us some work, I jump on a plane and go. Yes, Steph, that is true, except for on weapons charges. Don't get in trouble with a weapons charge in any way, shape, or form in Japan. You will not like it. They will not extradite for a weapons charge. Especially a firearms charge. It's just not going to be good. I didn't know your dad was born in Okinawa. That's very interesting. Ganjuana, but everybody calls him Ganji. I'm gonna still call him Ganjuana. Howdy, sir. Howdy and hello. Well, you got to remember, if you are born in another country to parents that are American citizens, and it does not matter if one or the other is an American citizen, you can get American citizenship just by them claiming that you are their child. Jose, luckily for me, when I go to Japan, it is completely on the back of somebody who's there who wants me to come in and do some electrical work. Now, remodeling takes a lot of money, and she doesn't know enough about electricity, and she doesn't want to get cheated. And it's cheaper for her to fly me over there and let me look things over than it is for her to have to just trust that whatever electrical contractor that she's using is doing the best job and not milking it for all it's worth. Sometimes they are actually hammer and tongs really going after it. And sometimes they are just slow showboating it and trying to get as much money out of her as possible. So they don't like it when I show up because, stupid American, he doesn't know what he's talking about. I don't know a lick of Japanese. I cannot talk to those guys. But that's okay. I can talk to the owner. And she's the same woman that told me that my name spelled out in Japanese minus one line at the very end spells roach. That's right, as in cockroach. How awesome is that? I am nothing but a bug. But yes, the contractors greatly hate it when I'm there because they're going to do it right and they're going to do it quickly, or they're going to get asked to leave by the owner. Yes, cockroach. Oh, but I'm going to eat so good. Crazy good food. Thank God I eat and don't ask what the hell it is. I don't care what it is. If it tastes good, I'm going to eat it. That's just the way to be. that's part of that stuff is that Japan was at one point in time a Spanish colony by some sort of weird twist of fate. Uh-oh. It's time for this town to get down. Sorry. It's Odie from Cincinnati. Howdy, sir. Sounds like you were playing around with chickens. Hopefully bourbon hunting went well for you, sir. Now, while y'all say hello to Odie, I'm going to turn on my little tablet and make sure that Mike's show, which should be starting any time now, is loaded up and live. In fact, there are 6 people on. Mike is there. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, it has been my pleasure to have you here. It has been so much fun. I thank y'all greatly for being here. But it's a tailgate, and we're here to tailgate for Mike, so quickly say your goodbyes because I'm about to be kicking you out. As per always, please take care of yourselves and take care of each other as best you can. We're a small community. We need to keep that push going. If we can promote each other and we can push each other up, eventually we are too big of a voice for the world to not pay attention to. And that's what we would all hope for. And as per always, long lives, big bowls, and long ashes. Y'all take care. And I will see you over on Briar Blues channel here in just a minute. Bye now.